Welcome to the Hustle Faithfully podcast where determination meets devotion.
Follow us across all streaming platforms at bit.ly/podcast-links. Today, we are welcoming a very, very special person on the program with us. Kirk Gimenez is a renowned journalist and founder of Sizzle TV, a groundbreaking streaming lifestyle network. After honing his skills at a local station in Miami, he furthered his career with an Emmy Award-winning stint at ESPN and SYN in New York. He also hosts insightful interviews as a network talent, making him the first Hispanic anchor at ESPN. His vision for Sizzle TV transformed messaging and branding into captivating mini-shows, branding unprecedented opportunities for major brands and minority businesses alike. By rewriting rules of traditional media, Kirk has created an innovative future where storytelling knows no bounds. Welcome to the Hustle Faithfully podcast this morning, Kirk. It is a pleasure to have you with us.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, guys. I need you guys as my hype man everywhere I go.
Oh, man.
We are in a series called From Burnout to Breakthrough. So we're having some very insightful people such as yourself come on with us and tell stories of when they felt burnout and what they did to push through to achieve their ultimate breakthrough and to be living in the success that they are currently living in. So we are intrigued and excited to hear your stories.
Thanks, guys. Anything, I'm an open book as a journalist. Transparency is key. And when we talk about, vulnerability, transparency is key in everything, right? So I'm here to tell my story so I can help uplift, motivate, and inspire someone else to do the same thing that maybe they didn't think that they had it in them. But guess what? You do.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Sometimes you just need the encouragement from others and to hear somebody say exactly what you just said. You do have it in you. Just keep pushing. Just keep going.
Correct. And listen, it's human nature where, we're all going to fall down. I was raised Catholic. I'm a straight up immigrant from Venezuela. So in Venezuela, you're raised Catholic. Life has far exceeded any dreams I've ever had. I went from Barquisimeto, which is in Venezuela. I went from Barquisimeto to Bristol, Connecticut is the home of ESPN. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be the first Latino to anchor in English in ESPN history. And that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
As a young man, you feel you're invulnerable, right? And I had a mission. My mission was to get a job. And everyone would tell me, you're too Hispanic. You kind of speak with an accent. Again, this was 20 years ago. It was a different world. Even at the University of Miami, I had counselors saying, do you have to, go in English? Why don't you try, the Spanish stations? I said, no, is my English not good enough? So you're going to encounter roadblocks everywhere you go. Life is going to tell you no. It's all about what you tell yourself, right? I didn't let others limit me and what my dream was. And look where I ended up on ESPN. That was never a goal of mine, right? And then you live your ebb and flow. ESPN, I did a 4-year stint there. It was great. Every day was a battle to be authentically Latino. I would drop a little Spanish on the air. If Big Papi, who was Dominican, hit a home run, back then nobody knew who was Dominican, I started screaming, Dominicano. A Venezuelan hit a home run, Venezolano. A Puerto Rican, mi Boricua, Boricua. And every day was a battle. I would be told, do you have to do that? And I go, yeah, that's why you hired me, right?
Right.
Bringing a little color, a little flavor, and I'm representing the players and letting people know, hey, your player is from here. This is where they're from.
Right.
And the players loved it. I thought everybody loved it, but they did not. So my 4-year contract was up. They said, we don't feel comfortable watching you on the air. And that's a quote. Then I went to go work for the Mets at SNY, and they said, that Spanish stuff you did at ESPN? Yeah. What about it? Yeah, you can't do that here. You got to whiten it up. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
And my paycheck, yes, sir. So all these years later, I left sports, did lifestyle entertainment. Everywhere I went, I didn't feel authentically Hispanic, Latino. So I decided to build my own damn thing, right? Sizzle TV. With an X, because it was easier to trademark. Don't get it twisted. If you're starting up your own business, find the right name, misspell it. That's a unique factor, right? So I launched my own darn thing with my own, investors said, no, you're going to build a platform for Latinos in English and for minorities. I'm like, yeah, because I got tired of the only time they put a brown and black face on TV and on the news was when there was a mugshot to go with it, right? Our positive, uplifting. There's so many, uplifting, God, willing people who are God-fearing people who are doing amazing things, and no one seems to care about these people. Or the brown and black. I call it brown and in business. Brown and black don't mess around. Black and brown don't mess around. I can't even say my own sayings. Right? I haven't had my coffee yet, and that's the problem. Mi cafecito. I need my cafecito in the morning. I haven't had my little shot of coffee. Black and brown don't mess around. But listen, how did I end up launching Sizzle TV? I had a huge meltdown. I was working for another huge corporation, Scripps Corporation, and I was doing a great job with their lifestyle entertainment shows. So much so that it was at the CW. Scripps bought it, right? Scripps is a huge journalism corporation. If you've heard of the Scripps Spelling Bee, that national spelling bee that they show, and the little kids are trying to spell that, they're behind that as well. They're the sponsor. So people have heard about them from there. So I was working at the station. Scripps bought it, and I got a call from Network, the corporation that's in Cincinnati. I go, here we go again. But this time it was the opposite. This time it's like, how do you do what you do? You're out producing, you have a team of 3 and you're out producing teams of 10 and 12. You by far have the best show we have in all of Scripps lifestyle shows. I said, wow, thank you. How do you do it? I said, well, let me ask you a question. Experience is key. Do you have anyone else that runs your shows that has ESPN experience, who's been an anchor at ESPN in New York, has been in the field, in this industry for nearly 30 years? Like, nope. I'm like, there's your difference. It's styling, it's journalistic judgment, it's marketing, it's branding, it's knowing how to produce and sell. And he goes, can you train our entire, lifestyle entertainment arm, nationwide? I said, well, okay, sure. Is there a change in title? Is there a change in pay? Nope. Just add it on top of it. It's like, whoa, time out. Didn't you just tell me that I'm out producing teams of 10 and 12? How do you think I do that? By grinding, working hard every day. Now you're going to add more. And they had already expanded the show from half an hour a week to 1 hour a week, still with limited resources. So I was burned out. And I said, and that's when I was, God speaks to you in certain ways. And sometimes it's in key messages, and you have to be keyed into that energy. And I listened, and I said, wait, if I'm that valuable that the Scripps Corporation wants me training their people, I'm going to go do this for myself, right? If they're not going to pay me my worth, know your value. If they're not going to pay me my worth, has it been difficult? Yes. But 3 years in, starting to elevate, starting to vibrate at a completely different frequency. And because I stuck to my mission, which was telling Black and brown stories on a positive platform, right? It led me, I knew 2 things about business, diddly and squat. I know how to make TV. Most people know how to do their business, right? They don't know how to run the business. And this is what I was honest and open about. And I met another Hispanic mentor of mine, finance mentor. He taught me about business lines of credit, business trade lines, how to not run your business on your own capital. And because I was tapped into my mission, I met him, and you have to listen to the energy, right? Messages come every day. And he goes, I offered him a Sizzle TV interview. He goes, this is amazing. Most people charge for this. What do you want? What are you going to charge me for? I go, it's free. You're helping others. It's my mission to teach people that you have these business lines of credit. And he's on the board of the Better Business Bureau. He's got 30,000 clients nationwide. He's been in business since 2005, and he's out there really helping people. And I said, I'd love to give you the interview, give you that platform. And he said, come into my office the next day. So I did, not knowing what was going on. And he said, are you willing to commit the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years to learn, finance? And I go, what does that entail? Every meeting I tell you to show up to, you show up to, and you be a fly on the wall. You be quiet and listen. I go, okay. It took me 2 years, and he was the visionary, because he realized I'm a disseminator of information, right? My job as a journalist for 30 years has been to dumb down a message, right? Break down the message and deliver it in an easy fashion, digest it. So it took me 2 years to digest all this stuff And now I can deliver it to others, and so they can help their own businesses. And it's all come, full circle to me realizing there's a huge knowledge and wealth gap for Black and brown business owners, founders. They're falling into traps that are merchant cash advances. And I realized, my mission has grown. My business is my Sizzle TV, my marketing and branding. I'm also the corporate Zoom coach that coaches 4,000 Google employees. And I teach them how to do what I'm doing now, right? Bridge the digital divide. You think I'm talking to you. There's key, easy steps that I teach where people can bridge the digital divide and have better corporate Zooms. But more importantly, I learned that I have to be the bridge to that knowledge and wealth gap. Correct. And it's always doubling down on the mission. Yes, we're all going to have our road bumps. Yes, we're all going to have, self-doubts. We're all going to have that imposter syndrome, right? And, you have to fight through all these things to become the person that God wants you to be, to become the person you are meant to be. You have these God-given talents, these God-given skills. And then you find people who are key in your life who elevate you even more so. What are you going to do with those gifts? Are you going to help others? Are you going to provide value? That has been my key to my success recently. And listen, I started the year, I'm still learning. I cashed my 401k to build my Sizzle TV. I've been all in. When you hustlers know there's blood, sweat, and tears and huge sacrifices. I'm confident enough in saying where I am right now, where I can tell you I started the year doing DoorDash and Uber Eats because I had to pay the rent, right? Because I knew my moment hadn't come. And then you fast forward to today. That was January of 2023. We're in October of 2023, and it's on a whole new level. And my business mentor told me, have faith. This is the year where you connect and really help people. And he was absolutely right. So I've been to national conferences nationwide for Hispanic businesses, minority certified businesses. Another mentor taught me to become a certified minority business. I had to have faith in that message as well, and become it. There goes my wife. She's getting ready to take the kids to school. It's real, man.
Yeah.
Right? Jonathan, and this is all about being transparent, right? And this is what I did the corporate Zoom coach. We're all dealing with this stuff. We're 3 years into the pandemic, right? You have to be honest. Don't be embarrassed that your son is going to come into a Zoom. And I've had my son come in and say, "Hey, son, say hello." Don't do them away. They're the most important people in your life. She's getting the kids ready to go to school. Baby, come on. Can I come in come on in? You're like, it's no big deal, right? Let's be honest and open with each other. And that's what I do with my financing. I've come to find out, that we've come a long way since I was the first Latino to anchor in ESPN history in English 20 years ago. But when I've come to find out, it's a little sobering and saddening that when it comes to finance, we haven't made any progress. The banking system, the funding systems, they're letting us down. And that's why I think my mentor, took me under his wing to get me ready for these, for what's coming next. What's coming next was, I'll share with you now, is I was at the National U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce convention, and they had one of the top economists in the country with J.P. Morgan on stage. Now, this was on the last day of the conference. Before the conference, I was having open and honest conversations with bankers and letting them know, listen, I know through my mentor, who's on the who's a field general, who's out on the field and on the battlefield with Black and brown businesses, helping them, that you as a banker, you're not giving a red cent to any medium to small businesses, even larger businesses. You've cut this off. You've cut off the lending completely 100% because of the atmosphere that we're in economically. And they'll tell me I'm wrong. And they wouldn't say anything. And I was having open and honest conversations about money, because money is energy, right? So now I've connected to the power of money. I know how to connect you to money inexpensively, because those people who sell you MCAs, they're selling you money very expensively, and they're going to bury your business. There's friendly, accessible financial products out there that will not bear your business, that can help you elevate your business and run your business, to stop running your business on your own capital, number one. Number two,
Right.
don't sign an MCA, merchant cash advance. Those are those envelopes that you get in the mail every now and then. You get an envelope in the mail. It's like, oh, you've been approved for $250,000. It's
Right.
60% interest, and they're going to recover interest every day into your bank account. They're going to crush your business. Don't sign one of those. Find yourself a business line of credit. If it fits with my guy, business, Brickle Capital Finance, find yourself a business trade line. If it was my people to know it, that's great. Everyone I partner with is all about democratizing and providing accessible, friendly funding to everyone out there. These are not new financial products. And this is what I kept telling bankers. Why aren't we offering these products to your clients? And I'm seeing this every day, why is a 20-year company that's run by a Haitian immigrant, why is she signing 2 MCAs and now she's losing her 20-year business? Because she's paying 100% in interest because she signed 2 MCAs. That's 50% interest. Why are these things happening? You're letting our people down. You don't give them money. You'll take their bank account, but then they're going to go broke signing these MCAs, and you're not offering them these long, tried and true financial products. So again, this is not my business, but it's my mission. It's my mission to educate people and tell them to wake up. Tell them that there's a better way to run your business. Tell them what not to do. Number one is to sign the MCA. And listen, I'm here because of what you guys talked about, right? You have to double down on your energy, double down on your mission, double down on who you are. What were you meant here to do? Listen, the universe tells you all the time. Connect to those, messages. The universe led me to my mentor telling me to get certified as an NMSDC business. That's a National Minority Supplier Development Council. Write it down. NMSDC.org. If you have a minority business, this is how you get corporate clients. Again, I earn nothing telling you this, but from what I found out, it's like a dirty little secret. This is a 50-year-old nonprofit that gets people like me, brown and black, BIPOC, Asian, certified, right? You get the certification, and they connect you to corporations who, by law, here's the kicker, have hundreds of millions of dollars earmarked to do business with minority businesses. It's a game changer, right? Most people don't know this exists. And then the people who do find out about it, they keep it their dirty little secret there because they think it's their competitive advantage. Here I am, the disruptor, saying, no, everyone needs to know about this. Here I am saying, the disseminator of information, no, everyone needs to know about this, because the more competition I have, the better off we will all be as brown and black businesses. And let's keep it real. Back in the day, we would have to fight. We weren't even at the table. We'd have to fight for crumbs on the floor in terms of opportunities as business owners. And that's why we had to step on each other. We had to, fight, claw, scratch, and steal and cheat to beat the other brown and black business for the one opportunity. Now we all have all these opportunities. Let's all share in it. Let's all elevate one another. And I'm in rooms with huge CEOs, listening to them and really listening to their messaging, how it has to be intentional. We have to support each other. We have to do business with each other as businesses as well. And that's why, everything I do, I try to do business with brown and black folk, minority, women. People forget, women are a big thing. Sizzle TV is all about, multiculturalism. You don't have to be brown or black. You're Italian American. Listen, you got treated just like we did when your people came over on the boat. Irish, the same thing. And that's what makes America so beautiful. We're so multicultural, but that's our unifying factor as well. The more different we think we are, the more alike we really are.
That's right.
We have shared experiences, right? We have these multicultural things that make us amazing as a country. I came across this one term that I think describes what an American really is. And that's being a 200%er, right? For instance, in my case, I don't have blank anything, right? I 100% everything. So I'm 100% Latino and Venezuelan, and I'm 100% American. So we are something extra. We're not just 100%. We're 200%ers. And I tell that to people, and their eyes, their pupils dilate, and it hits them. And like, wow, that really describes who I am. Listen, if you're Indian American, if you're a South American, if you're European, if anywhere from Europe, if you're from Pakistan, doesn't matter where you're from, you're a 200%er because you love this country as much as anyone else does. I'm a huge patriot. I love America more than anything else in the world, but I also love being Latino. And I think we finally come into a place in America where we can all really celebrate that. But we need to financially back it as well. So that's my mission. My mission is to help us catch up financially, so we can all have these everything's a financial product, right? Your credit card is a financial product. Your mortgage is a financial product. Your bank account is a financial product. If you're not happy with your financial product, go get another one. But be weary and be leery of financial products like merchant cash advances that sell you money expensively. Everything is selling you money. Right now, credit cards are selling you money expensively, 22% interest per month. So if you're a business owner and you're running your business on your credit card, you're paying 20 to 22% for that money, correct? Well, there's things like a business line of credit. There's only about 10 companies nationwide that do this, where you get that money at 1.5% a month. That's a game changer. You're saving at some point 20% in interest a month. So I've connected other Black and brown owners to these things. Some have had merchant cash advances. Some run their companies on their credit card. Some run them on their own pocket. And I'm saving them $12,000. I saved $12,000 a month in interest alone. Wow. Interest alone, right? But these are important conversations we need to be having that we don't have. We don't talk about money. So I'm the guy in the conferences having these conversations with everyone, Chamber of Commerce presidents, everyone. Like, why aren't these conversations being had? It's great that we're here celebrating our multiculturalism and everything else. But when it comes down, we're all here. We're all businesses. We're all here to make money. And why isn't the money conversation being had? It has to be had, right? For every Black person out there. How are you running your business? Is it on your own capital? Stop doing that. That's how we've been doing it forever. That's how when you hit a bump in your road, you lose your business after 20 years because you don't elevate, you don't grow, you don't evolve, you don't have corporate clients, right? I'm challenging everyone out there who's an entrepreneur and business owner. Get in gear, start getting those corporate clients. How do you get to those corporate clients? I just told you how. The NMSDC.org. That was my way. The U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is also one that gets certified businesses like me. I just went to the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce conference. I told you I had 5 meetings with corporations who wanted my marketing, branding, digital distribution, smart TV distribution. That's a game changer, right? But why did I get that information? Because me, as a journalist, as a former ESPN anchor, New York anchor in New York, I called my people, said, listen, I'm launching my thing. This is my first time completely on my own. I've been, a Disney employee with ESPN. I've been a Comcast employee with SNY. I've been a Scripps employee. I've been I've been a corporate guy my whole life. But now I'm launching my thing. And how do I get back into those corporate offices? How do I knock on the door of those corporate, level executives? How do I sell my wares because they're good enough to these people? And he dropped those letters on me. I'm like, what? Never heard of them before. And he goes, that's how, Kirk. Wow. And he immediately hung up. Well, I got to go. Bye. And I wrote them down. And from there to now, I'm a certified minority business. I'm dealing with corporations, meeting corporations every day. And these nonprofit groups who certify minority businesses, they're asking me to host their galas. And I am. And I do so out of the kindness of my heart because it's my way of giving them back. They help me. Oh, by the way, not only do they certify you, they provide you services. Yeah. And it's about $600 to get certified, and there's a lot of paperwork, and it's going to be a challenge. Nothing that's worthwhile is easy.
Right.
Nothing that's worthwhile is easy. It took me 2 months of suspending production to get all this paperwork. They even asked me for my Venezuelan birth certificate and my mom's Venezuelan birth certificate. You think that was easy to get? No, it was not easy to get. But I put in the paperwork, and then you get your certification. And then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to go to these conferences? You're going to go out there. You're going to meet the procurement officers for these huge corporations. Yes, you got to go do it, right? You can't just sit back and say, oh, I got my certification. What are you going to do for me? No, what are you going to do with that certification?
Right.
You're going to go out and hustle and get it, right? But they also provide services, like they help you with accounting services. financial reports, any assistance that they can garner for you, they provide free of service. They'll get you they'll get you the right person who's going to help. They'll get you the appointment, and that person will help you, and they'll pay for those services, right? Because their job is to elevate you and get you ready to present your wares, no matter what you do. It could, these corporations need, cleaning services, staffing services, construction, you name it, they need it, consulting, IT work, and they hire minority businesses to do that. By law, they have to. They have I repeat, hundreds of millions of dollars earmarked to do that. You'd be surprised just how much money goes to minority businesses who are certified, and they've been certified for years. But then what have they done with that information? Do they share it with their fellow brown and black community, their fellow BIPOC community? If you don't know what BIPOC is, it's the new term of saying, minority. It's Black, Indigenous, people of color, BIPOC. Right? That's what the corporate world is calling us now, the BIPOC community. Black and Indigenous people of color. So listen, I can go on for days. I feel like I've taken over. But listen, my goal is to plant that seed, right, and to elevate you. And I like to say, I'm like, you guys ever seen the movie Aladdin?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the original, the cartoon one with Robin Williams?
Yeah,
as the genie. I feel like I've become that genie, right? You ain't never had a friend like me.
Right.
I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me. And that's because why? Because I lead with my heart. I lead with my mission. I want to help people. And I hope that I've planted the seed in anyone listening today, how to elevate their business, how to run their business, how to elevate their mindset as well. And dabble in everything. Life is a journey. I also dabbled, through a time, I got divorced and I was lost a bit. And I, again, very Catholic, but I found a little bit of Buddhism in my life. And I love Buddhism because it teaches you, if I may, remember, it's not a religion, it's a philosophy. Right. Okay, people get it twisted. I had my other Catholic friends, yo, what is this Buddhism stuff? We're worried about you. I was like, time out. Like, I'm still a Catholic. I can still be a Catholic. And that's what the amazing thing about Buddhism. It's a philosophy. It welcomes everyone. And it helps you realize we're here this fast. We're here and we're gone that fast. Our time here on this planet is finite, correct? It teaches you that all of us, guys, you listening, our host, myself, we're all creatures meant to be happy. Are we going to encounter trials and tribulations? Are we going to have downtimes? Yes, we are. Let's own those, right? Let's own those breakdowns like you guys were talking about, right? Those, you have to own them and then reflect them. Are you going to let them break you, or are you going to get back on the path of happiness? Right. So I was at a Buddhist temple and a monk was talking about the visual that really helped me, and I hope it helps you guys out today. So no matter the guilt, whatever you have, we all have our issues, right? Pretend you have a backpack and those are stones that are weighing you down. Put all that stuff all those stones in the backpack. Right? And if you literally, while you're listening to this, have to get up, take off that backpack, put it down, and literally walk away from it and walk towards happiness once again. You have the power. It's all a mindset, and it's all a practical skill. This is something you have to work on every day and chip away. Every day, just chip away at it. Chip away at your happiness. Chip away at finding your happiness again. Do you feel lost right now? I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was going. Didn't know where, the Lord wanted me to go. But I had to live through all of that to become the person I am today, that I can confidently, in front of a banker's face, tell them what's going on in our economy, what's going on with Black and brown businesses, and be empowered with knowledge, right? And a mission and a big heart, and leading with what I really want to do, which is help people. Correct. Find your niche, find what you want to do. There is empowerment, there is enlightenment, and there is, satisfaction. Meditating is a big factor. Yoga is a big factor. I think everything that you do to work on yourself makes you a better you. And I'm almost 50 years old and I'm still an unfinished product. If you think you're a finished product, you're already losing because you're not growing anymore.
That's right.
We have to keep growing. Always see yourself as an unfinished product. We all have our tendencies. We all have our habits.
Mm-hmm.
Try to elevate past those. Mine is sweets. I love sweets. I can't control myself. I can't have just one cookie. I'm gonna have 12 cookies.
Right.
And that's been my cross to bear for most of my life. But I work on it every day.
Right.
And I work on my mindset. Mindset is 100%. And there's an old saying, right? The most valuable real estate is the 8 inches in between your head.
Right.
And I have a brother who wanted to move out of state of Florida and go. I'm like, man, it's not the state you live in; it's your state of mind, brother.
Right.
You gotta get that first before you move on to anything else. Get your state of mind straight. Get your spiritual house straight. And listen, you don't have to be religious, but you could be spiritual, right? You could connect to yourself. Because I don't want to be that guy that talks about the Lord. And listen, when I was going through my divorce, I found the Bible again. I would read the Bible on the beach. The beach is my church. I love the beach. So I'd go and read the Bible on the beach by myself for hours. I connected to the Lord once again. And at the same time, I connected to an even further spirituality. And not to sound, people say hoo-ha or anything like that, but it's a real thing. Meditation is a real thing, scientifically proven that it can grow your brain. Plasticity. Your brain has plasticity. It can grow. It can expand. It can grow past these things. If your child is having issues, my son has ADHD. You name it, he's got it under this. ADHD, dyslexia. He's got all the letters in the alphabet.
He has all the alphabet.
I started doing yoga with him, and I wish my dad, instead of beating me with a broomstick and a belt, gave me more love, patience, and understanding, like I'm doing with my son. And I tell him, I understand what's going on in your brain. Let's slow it down. Let's focus. Let's teach it things like yoga, mind and body control. Let's sit down and meditate. For him, it's a challenge just to sit down and lay his body still and take 3 deep breaths. But we got there, right? First, it was 1 breath. Now it's 2 breaths. Now it's 3 breaths. Eventually, we're going to get to 10 breaths. But he's only 11. But man, all this stuff has made me a better father. Even after the divorce, right? It's made me a better father, a better person, a better son, a better husband, a better businessman. Because I listen, I lead with my heart, I lead with my mission. And this is something that everyone has the power to do. It's not just me. Pick your path. You can choose your path. And I'll give you another challenge of faith that I had this year. I told you I started the year doing DoorDash and Uber Eats. Like any immigrant here in Miami, I think half my family Venezuelans do that still, and half the people arrive from Venezuela are doing that stuff. But I doubled down on the mission. I quit that. I said that is an immigrant mentality. That is a mentality of scarcity, not a mentality of abundance. I have so many gifts. There's so much that I have to offer, and my abilities. So I quit that job. I said the energy that I'm giving that job just to pay the bills, because I'm worried. Oh my God, that's the mentality of scarcity. How am I going to pay my bills? Oh my God, my rent. Don't have enough for this. Oh no, I got a flat tire. That's all a mentality of scarcity. And I flipped it around. Why? Because I was listening to my mentors, and I quit that job. I focused on my skill set, and lo and behold, within a month, I was hired as the director of marketing for a high-end luxury private jet charter company. I did their marketing, I did their branding, I did their launch event, and listen, I was getting paid 6 figures. I was like, wow, I got it made again. 3 days, I'm on that launch event, and I had an epiphany. Like, what am I doing here? And 3 days later, I quit the job. Told my wife, honey, I have to quit this job. She goes, why? It's not part of my mission. I've learned what I've been able to learn over the last 2 years with my financial mentor. And if I don't tap into that and teach people that, there's going to be people out there who are going to hurt, who are going to continue signing MCAs, and they're not going to find the help. And the knowledge and wealth gap is not going to be bridged.
Right.
So I realized my mission has grown, and I quit the job.
Wow.
And with Sizzle TV, Sizzle TV takes all of my resources, takes all of my money. I'm doing that all on my own, right? Because why? And again, I'm being very honest here. I hadn't gotten connected to those corporate sponsors yet, and those corporate deals. Now I am. Now everything's clicking. Why? Because I doubled down on my mission. I doubled down on my energy. And now the not only my mission but my business are doing well, and it's only skyrocketing up from here. And I tell you that because you really have to double down on everything, right? And it's all about that energy, and it's all about listening to the Lord, the universe, whatever you believe in, man, right? I had people, my finance mentor, other financial groups approaching me and talking to me, and I wasn't listening because I was for mentality of scarcity. I was still not completely buying into the mentality of abundance.
Right.
What the mission was telling me. I was like, oh man, but I need this job because it's going to help me pay my bills. Then I realized, forget the bills, forget, the debt, forget, my 401 catching in my 401k to build my Sizzle TV. This is my mission. I got to double down on it, and I have to help people. Number one, it's helping people. And so I quit. And that was a challenge in and of itself, but with a quiet confidence that I was doing the right thing, because the universe, the Lord, was telling me to do it by many, many, many signs. And I went down that path with an open heart, an open mind, and ready to make a difference, ready to make a change, and ready to rattle the cages no matter where I went. And then with a refound vigor, energy, passion, desire than ever before. Because once you make that decision and you're face to face with that realization, you look yourself in the mirror and you realize, wow, I got to get this done. There, no excuses about it. And I'm working 7 days a week, and I told my wife and I had this conversation over the weekend, and last night I was working till 10 o'clock at night. And you have to give yourself a break. And I said, no, I'm not taking a break until I reach the point where I know I'm making a real difference. And I'm at that critical juncture right now where I'm reaching parameters of certain business deals, etc. And I'm gonna push through that until I hammer all those home. And there's a lot of them. Right. I'm not gonna quit, right? I'm gonna work on it every single day. I'm not gonna tell you I'm working, 12 hours a day on the weekends. And the weekends I'll work 2 to 3 hours, but just to make sure that I'm moving things along. On the weekdays, then I go all in, right? But what did I say? Nothing that's easy, nothing that comes easy is worthwhile. Everything that's worthwhile takes grit and determination.
Right.
And I hope I've helped people with that. And you're gonna have the Lord talk to you in many ways. I had a dream. Do we have time for a quick story? What are we at?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My
I had a dream. My grandfather, may he rest his soul, in Barquisimeto, Venezuela. I'll tell you this. You guys have seen The Godfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember Don Corleone? The first Godfather starts that he's at his daughter's wedding, and there's a line of people waiting to do business with him. That was my grandfather, without the guns and without he was a Don. He was Don Virgilio. In Spanish, it's Don. He was Don Virgilio. And every bit, and as I started my entrepreneurial path, all these memories started firing off when I was a little kid. Every family party, every family get together, there was a line of people waiting to do business with my grandfather. And he always was at his desk with a whiskey in his hand doing business. And it was always win-win scenarios. How can I help you? And that's why people love doing business with him, because they knew that he was taking care of their business, but yes, he was going to win too, but they were both going to win. Right. And as I'm doing that, and there's still all these self-doubts in my head, I have a dream with my grandfather, but it felt like an actual vision. It didn't feel like a dream. And I never dreamed with my grandfather, right? Don Virgilio. And I have the dream where I'm walking down this long path. I guess that's my road, right? Down this long hallway. And I feel a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and he's got an envelope full of money, and he stuffs it into my jacket pocket. And then he taps me on the shoulder, and I woke up. But it felt like it was so real, like he was right there. And that's him telling me, you're on the right path. You are my legacy. And I tell that dream to all my cousins, and they go, no, we've long realized, that you're our grandfather's legacy. And then shortly thereafter, again, I deal with a lot of brown and black people, my fellow Hispanics. I help another business owner. He started calling me without knowing the story, Don Kirk. That Florida. That really hit home. I go, no one ever in my life has called me Don Kirk, right?
Right.
The Don Kirk. And then, so now my cousins, of course, we call each other in Spanish, cousin is primo. Now they started calling me Don Primo, and now they're razzing me about it and giving me.
Oh man!
But again, that's the thing that the universe is energy. Energy is money. People are going to tell you, read this book, read that book. Rich man, poor man, or is it Rich Father or Poor
Rich
Father?
Dad, Poor Dad.
Poor Dad.
Yeah.
I stopped reading them because I found mine, and that was the secret. Because for me, it's not just about money. And the secret's mantra is what? It's prosperity and wealth flow through me and come easily to me, right? And think about that word prosperity. It's not just money, right? Health is the new wealth. It's the right state of mind. It's the right. It's being healthy. Because what good is success if you don't have the health to enjoy it? If you don't have the time to enjoy it with the people you love, it's no good. Right? You're working for something that's green, and that's yes, it's tangible, but it's paper, right? It's a number, and that's not true prosperity. So I found that, and that is my mantra. Whenever I do yoga, I chant that to myself several times. When I was going down the elevator at these huge conferences, I was telling you, these conferences were make or break for me, right? I would say that mantra: prosperity and wealth flow through me and come easily to me, over and over again in the elevators. I'm going down the elevator to enter these conferences, right? And I was doubling down on all the energy, and it went so well beyond my wildest dreams. When I got into the car and I left the conference, I broke down in tears, sobbing. And I can't tell you if it was relief, if it was joy. I really don't know. But I literally, like, you talk about that weight, it felt like a weight off my shoulders. It was like, yeah, I did it. I can't believe I just did what I just did over the last 4 days. Waking up at 6 a.m., going to sleep at midnight to 1 a.m. Because listen, we Latinos, it was a Hispanic conference. We Latinos love talking business over some libations. So it was late at night. It was nonstop talking about financing, marketing, you name it. But I couldn't believe I did it. And the partnerships I've developed, the relationships I developed, I literally broke down in tears because I felt that everything I had sacrificed and built, and the personal realizations that I've had over the last 3 years, all came down to that. And Jonathan and I met at the beginning of my path. And I think you can tell I'm a completely different person, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it's all, I was always the giver, because the very first time I met Jonathan, I gave freely, and I elevated freely. I've always been that person with a big heart. But now I just have more knowledge to partake and to help people with. And now I have more partners who have the same mission. Align yourself with the right people. Correct? During the time, that first year that I met with Jonathan, I walked away from a lot of people who talked a good game. They didn't have the right energy for me. Just didn't feel
right.
And I walked away from a lot of people knowing that I was going to find the right people. Lo and behold, I did. Right. Listen to that energy. Once you, and listen, the secret's all about the universal law of attraction. Right? The universal law of attraction is you get the universe gives back to you what you put out. If you put out energy, it's going to come back to you tenfold. Right. And that's what it's all about. And listen, let's keep it real. There's no more successful people in business than Jewish people. Right. They are a tribe. I worked in New York. They run New York. Why? Because they connect to this energy. Yeah. They believe in the universal law of attraction. Yes, they help each other, but they'll help each other freely. Why? Because they know that it'll come back and help and come back, and it may not be this person. It'll be somebody else. That energy will be returned to them tenfold, because that, one thing leads to another, and I've always been funny, laughed at that saying that, oh, when it rains, it pours, that once you start building your business and things start clicking, look out, because the opportunities really start materializing out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere. It's out of your energy, right? And I'm living that now. Literally, my phone is ringing off the hook day and night. My wife says, "Oh, there you go again on the phone." Just earlier this year, I didn't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Phone was not ringing. My Calendly calendar was not full.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People were not calling. And I said, so I'm doing something wrong. I really wasn't. I just hadn't doubled down on the energy.
Right.
And it took that moment in the car doing, I think it was at that point it was a DoorDash. Took that moment in the car and I just sat back and I took a deep breath, because I had just finished a series. If you do DoorDash or you Uber Eats, you know what I'm talking about. You're like running around like a mad person. Then I sat back and I took a deep breath and I said, I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. What am I doing? There's a mentality of scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that if you do walk away with today, it's apply that to everything in your life. A mentality of abundance instead of a mentality of scarcity. Once you stop acting from a position of despair, you make the right decisions. When you are stressed out, when you are in a position of despair, when you have that mindset of scarcity, you're going to make all the wrong decisions. When you're acting out of mentality of abundance, you sit back. You analyze the situation financially, emotionally, via energy. Is this the right person who has the right energy? And you make the right decisions. It's something as simple as starting your day off right with a mentality of abundance, right? This podcast records at 7 a.m. I didn't sweat it, right? I have my son, my stepdaughter, my wife, they're all trying to get up. Wake up earlier, right? A mentality of abundance. Let's get it done. But if you are working from a mentality of scarcity, it's going to be like, oh man, or you're running late. Oh, here I go running late again. You're already lost. You're already
Yep. Absolutely.
And now you're going to get into a car accident. And then there's people out there, listen to me. You're suffering through this, right? You're like, why is all this bad stuff happening to me? This is why it's happening to you. It's happening to you because you're open to it. It's happening to you because you're putting yourself in these situations. Why do I always find the wrong guy? Why do I always find the wrong woman? Why am I always running late? Analyze. Look yourself in the mirror. Are you acting out of a position of scarcity or a mentality of abundance? You have gifts. You have a skill set. Double down on that. Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. I'll tell you another story. I have a Venezuelan cousin who shall remain nameless. Like many Venezuelans, they show up. They show up here. They show up here illegally, right? And work under the table. Well, they were working under the table, working construction, you name it, whatever you can. And I told them, listen, you're going to be okay. Well, I'm crying. Mentality of an immigrant, mentality of abundance. You're an extremely talented person. You had an incredible career in Venezuela. You're going to be fine. Talk to me in 2 years. This is all temporary. This is all part of the journey. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't see the forest for the trees, right? Mm-hmm. Fast forward, we got her asylum. She got her papers. She's working with the same international marketing firm that she worked in Venezuela. She's working with the same firm here in Miami. Completely recuperated her life, her career. And when she first came here, I hate the U.S. It's like, you made the sacrifice to come here. It's the greatest nation in the world. Mm-hmm. All about what you do with these opportunities. We all have, this is the greatest nation in the world. There's no limitations. Look at me. I'm an immigrant little boy from Barquisimeto. I ended up on ESPN. That's a great American success story. There's so many of them like that. Go out and get your American success story. She did. And within 2 years, she's got her career, apartment, car. Her daughter is going to dental school. Completely new, different outlook in life, completely new, different mindset. And that's why it all starts here. Let go of that mentality of scarcity, that mentality of abundance. And that means whatever it means for you. If it means, letting the Lord more into your heart, connecting to spirituality through Buddhism, connecting through spirituality through meditation, whatever it needs, reading The Secret and really connecting to the energy that is the law of attraction. Whatever you need to do, get those steps and take one step every single day. You know how I ended up on ESPN? I worked a midnight to 10 a.m. shift at a local TV station here in Miami as a writer for the news. You know what I did for my lunch hour at 3 a.m.? My lunch hour was at 3 a.m. I would write my own scripts. Because again, it has to be in my own voice. Write my own scripts and sit on a dark set and practice for the entire hour. People thought I was crazy. Oh, there's Kirk again on the set. That kid's never getting anywhere. But I would hone my craft every single day. I wasn't getting the opportunity, but I was getting ready for the opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? I was getting ready for that opportunity. And then when I got that opportunity and they sat me on the Sports Center set, because that's what they do when you audition. They sit you on the Sports Center set and they're going to say, let's see how this person handles that stress. Let's see how they handle the big stage. And I was on the Sports Center set and I crushed it. Right. And I got the job. Why? Because every step I took every single day got me ready for that opportunity.
That's right.
What have I been doing the last 2.5 years? Going to financial meetings, not getting paid for them. Right. But I took advantage of the opportunity. Someone who is a giant in the field offered me this opportunity. The mentality of scarcity would have said, what? Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that because it's not making me any money. And, I'm going to lose. I'm not going to pay rent and it's going to cost me gas. Wrong mentality. I said yes. Right. And I've been getting ready for this opportunity to help other people. And it's not a coincidence that when I went to this conference, they had the top economist on stage and he was telling everybody there on a huge stage what I was telling them the entire conference. And then people coming up to me, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let's work together. Again, preparation meets opportunity leads to success. Prepare yourself for success, no matter what that is. I've given you tons of tools, tons of tips, from The Secret to NMSDC, to your mentality, spirituality, Buddhism. By the way, Netflix has a great, yes, they do. They have everything. They have a meditation called Headspace, Introduction to Meditation. And I do that almost daily. It really is incredible. And expand your mind, expand your horizons, go big, dream big. If you shoot for the stars and land on the moon, you're still an astronaut, and you still made it to space. If you shoot to make billions and you only make millions, hey, guess what? At least you're a millionaire, and you're financially set. And I'll lead you with another story as well. I'll leave you with another story. The very first meeting I went to after being a certified minority business, they had a black owner of Coke, Florida, Troy Taylor, self-made man, and owns Coke, Florida. So in Coca-Cola, you have these regional owners who do all the bottling and distribution. So when you're in Florida or whatever other state, like in Florida, let's talk about Florida and him. He owns every Coke truck. He owns all the bottling facilities. It's his business. It's a family business. I'm like, wow, this guy's incredible. And he's talking about how he measures success. Again, it's all about energy. Are you listening to the right messages? And he says, this is a family-owned business. And this is, this is how I built success. And I go, and I lean in, I go, I got to listen to this brother. Let's see what this brother has to say. And he goes, you said, surround yourself with amazing people. So I've hired the right people. And they're the ones who worried about the quarterly reports and the yearly reports. That's not how I measure success. This is new. And how the heck does this guy measure success? And he goes, I measure success by decades because I envision my son inheriting this company. It's a family-owned company. So that's how I measure true success. It's by decades. I measure progress by quarterly and yearly reports. I was like, wow. Again, and you have all these black and brown and minority, and I've met so many amazing women as well who are building incredible businesses as well. Listen to them, right? Get yourself in these rooms. This is how you elevate yourself, is by surrounding yourself with greatness, right? There's no option but to succeed if you're surrounding yourself with all these amazing, successful people.
That's right.
And that's what I've done. I put myself in this room, in those rooms, and listening to guys like him, and that just blew my mind. And I tell that to other CEOs and other founders, like, wow, that's amazing. I could keep that secret to myself, and that was an intimate, fireside chat with only certified minority businesses. But I think everyone needs to realize that, because that's, that speaks to what? A mentality of abundance, right? He's not worried about paying the right people the right amount, because it's going to lead to long-term success. And that's unbelievable, in and of itself. Anything else? I think I've
No, you're right,
Kirk. You've done an amazing job of really educating all of us. Because there's things that I heard that I didn't know. That there are resources out there. Some of the ones you named that I never heard of, and to know that you've come from where you came from, you accomplished what you did, you faced the challenges that you faced. And to see where you are now, where you still have the heart to invest in other people, to give to other people. You're not bitter. You're not saying, oh, woe is me, I had all these things happen to me, so let me just tap out. You never got to that point where you tapped out. You had moments where the weight was heavy, but you didn't quit.
Broad shoulders.
And you know what? And broad shoulders get built from heavy lifting. And you've done a lot of heavy lifting, not just for yourself, but you've done it for a lot of other people, even though they didn't know that you were doing the lifting for them. And it's the information that you share. It's the things that you've done, the way that you've put yourself in these rooms to learn these things, not just for you, but to disseminate to other people, to share with the masses. So I want to celebrate you right now as one part of that black and brown, and then a part of this whole community. I want to celebrate you because you're doing the very thing that all of us have to do. That when you face challenges, and I talked to Jonathan about this, all of us are going to have those stones in our life that could trip us up, those obstacles. But will it be a stepping stone or a stumbling block? And you have taken those things that were meant to trip you up, and they became a stepping stone. So, Kirk, thank you so much for sharing what you've shared with us.
And listen, if you want to see it, Kirk Gimenez across all social media, I'm verified everywhere. I talk about it openly. I show you every step of the way. I peek you behind the curtain. I tell you, hey, I'm at this meeting. I'm at this conference. Follow that path. I had a black brother call me yesterday. I had an honest conversation with him. He goes, man, I saw you on LinkedIn that you were going to attend this award ceremony. So I work for a certified minority business. I go, oh, that's great. I had no idea what to do with that till I went to that award ceremony. And now I understand. I'm like, oh, so you went because of me because you saw it on LinkedIn? He's like, yeah, man, I went because of you because I saw it on LinkedIn. I was like, and what do you think? He goes, no, man, you're going to kill it now that you know what to do with that certified.
Wow.
Had the business been doing anything with that certification before? They're like, nope. But now I have a game plan thanks to you.
Wow.
I'm like, you're welcome. So it's all about elevating others, right? This is we have to have these conversations. We have to follow people like that. Don't just use social media, to connect with friends and family. There's a lot of people disseminating a lot of amazing information out there. Learn from he elevated me in the fact that I do this because of guys like him, right? And I was like, thank you for sharing that, because that's going to elevate me and keep me motivated to continue sharing this stuff so I can continue helping people. Because listen, there's a lot of people who scroll and troll out there. They don't like, they don't comment, but everyone is watching it. Everyone is looking at it. And I can't tell you how many people I see in person, they haven't liked one thing or commented once. I'm like, dude, thanks so much for that. I was like, dude, why didn't you follow and like it, or at least give me a thumbs up? Don't scroll and troll, man. Don't scroll and troll. That's energy too.
Right. You're absolutely right. It's interesting to me when I'm out talking to people and they say, I see your stuff on Facebook all the time, or I see your stuff on Instagram all the time. But yet, if they didn't tell me that, I would have no idea they're seeing any of
No
it because they
idea.
don't like, they don't comment, they don't anything.
Yeah. And that's
But-
the kicker. These are people you know. People you don't know, they're constantly commenting. Da, 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 da.
You're right.
People you know are like, even my cousins, the people who call me Don Primo, like, wow, that's an amazing thing. I was like, well, why didn't you like it, man? I saw you. did
Right.
Right.
That's the thing. You know, we talk about here on this podcast, as well as that thought-provoking change. Keep doing what you're doing because you never know how many people you're impacting.
Right.
You never really know how many people you're reaching
Mhm.
just because it shows, you know, you have 14 likes. I guarantee you there's a lot more people that are seeing it than those 14 people.
Oh yeah.
Or 2 comments. There are so many more people that you are reaching, that you're impacting. Just keep going, keep being a light, and keep pushing it forward, just like Kirk does for people. I remember when we met, and here's this big time ESPN guy, a guy that owns his own TV station. And he was there the very first time that I was ever a speaker on stage. And I remember him coming up to me after I got off stage, and he gave me one tidbit of advice. And it's like something that seems, and it didn't to me at the time, so maybe that's not the right way to say it. I was going to say something that seems so small and insignificant. It wasn't. And what he was able to pour into me, let me say nearly 2 years later, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate just meeting you. I appreciate getting to know you. And even the text communications that we've had, he's always up to something. He's always up to helping people. Every time we communicate back and forth, he's always out doing something for someone. He does have an absolute giving heart.
Like you. It takes one to know one, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate those kind words. For all of our viewers, you will see a QR code in the upper corner. Go ahead and scan that now. It'll take you over to, that's it. That's the corner.
Yep.
It'll take you over to Sizzle TV. And that
really?
is,
You guys made a QR code for Sizzle TV? That's awesome.
we made one just for you.
That's
So
cool.
go over there, and like Kirk said, you can find him across all social media platforms. He's verified everywhere. You're dealing with the real deal here. If you don't see the blue check mark, it's not him. So make sure you're looking at the right one. And one of the big things, there were so many mic drop moments that you just shared with us. Thank you so much for pouring into our community of viewers and listeners. It is appreciated so much. There was so much information that you dropped. But you know, you said prosperity and wealth flow through me and come easily to me. That's from The Secret. Yet when you really comprehend that and you really live life realizing that that's true, it changes your life.
It does.
It
And
will
it affects
give you
every
a new way of seeing it.
Yeah, it affects every decision you make.
Without a doubt.
For instance, I had a mentor, and listen, sometimes your mentors are wrong too. I had a mentor who he knew I was going to this U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And you listen, when you go to these conventions, you know that the hotel that you're staying at the convention, they're going to charge a lot of money, right? A truckload of money. And I was like, I'm staying at the hotel. Why? Because that's the right decision. And it turned out to be the right decision. I was able to network longer. I was staying there.
Right.
And go to network to these events. They judge you by that. Are you staying at the hotel? Staying at the convention hotel? It's like, and in my mind, I was thinking, darn skippy I am. But I'd say, oh, yes, of course I'm staying here. Where else would I stay? Right. But that's the first measuring stick. And listen, I'm sharing this and I'm being transparent so you can know that it really does affect every decision you make. I was about to book 10 minutes away, a hotel 10 minutes away. And I was about to hit that click button. I was like, that's the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's the decision. That's a mentality of scarcity. I got to go all in. If I'm going to this convention and I'm paying, I don't know how much money to go to the convention, I got to be in the room. I got to be in the room in the hotel where all the movers and shakers are.
Yeah.
Shut down that page, went right to the hotel page. And with confidence, quiet confidence, booked that expensive hotel room. And it was the right decision. Absolutely 100% the right decision.
It
Always
is
a decision from a mentality of abundance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use credit smartly, use your talent smartly, and work from a mentality of abundance. And really, listen, that includes people you surround yourself with.
That's right.
Right? Are you surrounded by? Why do you think I said yes to this podcast?
Right.
My boy Jonathan said, yo, Chris, and that's energy. I was like, I love my man. He's my dude. Love his family. Love what he's all about. Huge heart. His heart is as big as he is. And if you haven't met Jonathan, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", and he dwarfs me. How tall are you, man?
I'm 6'4".
There you go. But I felt shorter next to you.
Yeah.
Probably had lifts on. Probably had lifts on, and I had.
He did. He did.
That's
He wears the Prince shoes.
I do not.
He is a big dude, and listen, you guys have talked a lot about me, but now it's time to talk about you. You guys are doing an amazing thing. This podcast is incredible because I see what you're doing. You're trying to help people, and you're trying to connect your listeners and your viewers to people who are going to help. Right.
Yeah.
Help elevate them. And listen, and now you don't have to go watch The Secret. Now you don't have to go read The Secret. You listen to the Hustle podcast. Now you know to connect yourself to the nmsdc.org. You listen to the Hustle Faithfully podcast, right? And now you know about the mentality of scarcity versus the mentality of abundance. You listen to the Hustle Faithfully podcast. One-stop shop, right? You've been elevated today thanks to these two gentlemen on the screen. And if you're listening, thanks to your hosts.
We appreciate that.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Kirk. Everybody, Kirk said it earlier, and let this resonate with you. Expand your mind, go big, and dream big.
Mm-hmm.
Live that out day by day. Remain blessed and unstoppable. We will see you again on Thursday for the release of the next episode.
Everyone, you guys release an episode how often? Remind your
we do these lives every Tuesday, and then we do an episode with just Ricardo and myself every Thursday. So we're releasing 2 a week.
Well, you guys keep doing it. I know it's a grind, but you're doing amazing work. And keep plugging away. People are watching. People are listening.
Thank you.
And continue leading with your heart. And listen, this is an important message you guys are putting out there, that faith is a big component of wealth, of being well, of doing well, of being a good person. And don't forget the golden rule: do unto others as you would have do unto you. That's what I teach myself every day.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. That's awesome. Thank you again, Kirk. Everybody remain blessed and unstoppable. See you again soon.